Hi guys, in this video we're going to discuss the first problem from Status 77 of Codechef. So the problem's name is Concat Palindrome, and the problem states that Chef has two strings A and B of length n and m respectively. Chef can rearrange both the strings in any way he wants, so every characters of a particular string can be arranged in whatever way Chef wants. So let's say he arranged A as another string A dash and he arranged the string B as another string B dash. Now he wants that A dash plus B dash should be a palindrome. So if it's possible to do that, we have to print a yes. If it's not possible to do that, we have to print a no. So let's get started with the solution. So what the solution wants us to do, like how we'll come up with whether it's possible or not. So firstly, I can say that if I have a string A, or let's say if I'm getting a string A dash and a B dash, if it's becoming a palindrome, then it's also the case that even B plus A would form a palindrome. I repeat, if A plus B is forming a palindrome, then even B plus A would form a palindrome. Now, if you want a formal proof or a small gist of it, like why it's possible and why I'm saying that. So the only reason for that is that let's say I was having A and then I was having B, right? Now let's say A had a size greater than B, right? So what are happening is that I was trying to form the reverse of B inside of A, right? So this would be sum of the left elements of A, right? In which I would try to form the reverse of B. Then I'll be having the remaining string of A. So let's call it A remaining. And then I'll be having the string B itself, right? Cool enough. Now let's say if reverse was the case, so I was having B in the starting, then I was having A, right? So it was actually B plus A. Then also I can perform the same thing. So I can write the B string as it is. Then at the end I can write the reverse of B from the elements of A, right? And the remaining elements from A would come over here. So if A plus B can, or rearrange terms, let's say A dash plus B dash can form a palindrome, then it's obvious that B dash plus A dash can also, or let's say B double dash plus A double dash can also form a palindrome. So I'll be using this actually. Now why I'm using this? Because let's say my A has a size greater than B, right? Over here, the inequality operator actually suggests us that the size of A is actually greater than B. Then it's fine to me. However, if the size of A is less than B, then I want to swap those two strings, because I'm trying to form this reverse of string B using the elements in string A. Now, if the size of A itself was less than B, then there's no way I can form the reverse of string B using the elements of string A, right? So that's the only reason I'm doing that. If my A has a size less than that of B, then I'll swap the two strings. Cool. So with that, let's get over here. So firstly, I want to check that if the number of elements are odd. In that case, a special thing happens. So in that case, I can have a middle element, right? And in case of palindrome, the middle element has nothing to do with the rest of the elements. So a middle element could have any values, and it need not be compared with any other element, right? So that's a special thing. So for that, I'm setting my mid. If my number of elements are odd, then I'm setting my mid to true. So mid over here just says that we have a middle element. Now, if the size of A is less than the size of B, I'm swapping the two strings, right? Then I'm taking a unordered map of frequencies. So for all the elements that are present in A, I'm incrementing its frequency, and for all the elements that are present in B, I'm decrementing the frequencies. Now why I'm doing this? Because after doing this, if for any element or for any character, if I'm getting a negative value, that means that its frequency was higher in B than in A. In that case, it's not possible for me to form the reverse of string B using the elements of string A. So if that's the case, then I can say that my answer does not exist, right? I'll simply print out a no. If that's not the case, then what could happen is that, let's say if the number of elements I'm having is actually even. So when I say even, what would happen is that over here I've already subtracted whatever elements are required for B, right? So basically, the elements I'm left with is actually this part. So over here a remaining was shown, right? So I'm just concerned about a remaining because the rest of the elements have already been subtracted. So whatever elements were required to form the reverse of the string b have already been obtained, right? Or have already been cancelled. So this is the only part I'm left with. Cool. So if this number of elements are even, then well and good, because if I'm having even number of elements, I can form a valid palindrome with that. However, what would happen if the number of elements are odd? So if the number of elements of that particular character are odd, then that case, if I'm having a middle element, then I can use that particular character as a middle element, right? So if I'm having a middle element, I can use that. If I'm not having a middle element, then I have to print no, right? Also, after performing this operation, let's say we had a middle element. I already used it for the current character. Now I cannot use it again for another character. So if that's the case, I'll simply because that would be the case. So if I've already if I'm using it using the mid right now, I'll set mid as false because mid has already been used now, and I'll keep iterating over it. After even after all the iterations, I was not able to find any case where or any character which cannot be utilized in remaining of a, right? In that case, I'll print a yes. That makes sense. So because every condition wherein a valid palindrome would not be formed have already been considered over here. So this is where I cannot form b reverse. A remaining is not palindrome, right? If none of these conditions were true, or let's just put it right over here. Okay, let's put it over here. Yeah. So if both these conditions never came into picture, in that case a string is obviously possible. So I'll just print a yes over here. So yeah, that is it about this problem. Let me know if you have any doubts in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Bye bye.